Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Cunningham, Audiovisual Media Manager here at the National Training Agency, and we are back with another edition of NTA Exclusive. I am so happy and so honored to be on with two wonderful young men today, and they're going to introduce themselves in a few minutes. But if you're watching us today, please begin to share this live with your family and friends. We're live today on NTA's Facebook page and also our YouTube channel. We'll be back after these messages.
As Bahamians, we are dedicated to supporting and uplifting our people. We do this by creating healthier communities and improving lives with a team of dedicated medical professionals with an array of subspecialties. We provide patient-centered, high-quality, holistic healthcare with state-of-the-art equipment across our network, including outpatient surgery and treatments, our industry-standard kidney clinic, imaging, pharmacy, ambulance, rehabilitation, and laboratory services assist patients across our beautiful island. As we celebrate our nation and all that makes us proud to be Bahamian, we do so in love and unity. Like the strong, resilient oak tree, we stand with you when you need us. We are more than medical. We are community. Oak Tree Medical Center, caring, compassionate, complete. Visit us at www.oaktreemedicalcenter.com.
And we are back. As I promised you before the break, I am on with two gentlemen who are connected with us here at the National Training Agency. And without preempting, I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, starting with you, Mr. Robinson, and then we'll go over to our NTA graduate.
Good evening, everybody. Firstly, let me begin with this. I am proud. I am so proud this evening because I have the opportunity to actually sit down in a room with a butler who went through the National Training Agency, and Sir Curtis and myself, managing partners of Top Tier Butlers, was his facilitator and led him through a transformation journey. And boy, oh boy, I can tell you that I feel so good right now to know that the training was so impactful for him, because he is very young, and he'll tell you his age when we get there. But I would say within 6 months of completing the training, he is already hired at SLS Bahama. And for that, oh, to God be the glory. And I just feel so satisfied right now. So I can go on and on telling you about myself, but in all honesty, the reason why we are here is to shine light on Sir Derek Clare, the once Butler Service trainee, but now NTA graduate, who is now in the hospitality industry blazing trails. And what really hits home, is a few years ago, I was once in Derek's shoes, looking for the next opportunity, recently graduated high school, and didn't really have much in plan in terms of how can I go out as a young man, learn skills, and then be able to apply them. And because I applied myself in training, I was able to do the same thing that Derek is currently doing right now. And this is just the beginning for him. And I'm so happy to hear and to be a part of his story as he continues on.
Well, boy, Mr. Robinson, he almost did the whole introduction for you. But listen, I'm so happy to hear about all of that, what you just shared, Mr. Robinson. And I'm so excited to hear about his journey. But I want you to tell us a little bit about your first days at NTA. What actually drew you to NTA? How did you even find out about NTA?
Well, I came to NTA because one of my cousins actually attended beforehand. She was also in the Butler Services. And when I came, I was actually 17. I had quite a bit of hair, which I then learned during my courses that it did not look well. So I actually made the decision to cut it. But my name is Derek. I'm 18 years old now. and I am now employed at SLS at Bahamar as a front desk agent. I had my interview in January, the late parts of January, and I was hired May 31st.
Listen, I just want to get back to this hair thing.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Because I can remember when you had a whole lot of hair. And how did you feel? I know you wanted to get the job, but how did it make you feel knowing that you had to groom yourself different? I know that perhaps wasn't the easiest thing for you to do, but what made you make that decision?
Honestly, I did quite like my hair. However, I already had told Mr. Robinson that I would cut it because he gave me a choice. He said you can either get it plait down or you can cut it. I already told him that I was going to cut it, which I really did not want to do. But since I already told him that, that's what I did.
Well, you ain't got to tell me about Mr. Robinson and Mr. Curtis, because I already know, and they are kings of professionalism. So I already know what they expect of you all, and they know why they expect you, because they went through it themselves, like he said. Now, I want you, before we get into the nitty-gritty of Butler Services, I want you to tell me about those first 4 weeks of training at the National Training Agency. That was your mandatory workforce prep. Is there anything that stands out to you? Anything at all? Anything that you learned during that process?
Well, the things that stood out most to me back then would have been money management, time management, and work ethics.
And is there any specific thing about any of those modules that stands out to you?
Yes, that would be work ethics when it comes to grooming.
Work ethics, okay. So listen, I am so happy that you actually took some of that training in and you realized the importance of that workforce prep. And I'm sure you can learn, or you will experience if you haven't experienced already, that those work ethics that you learned about in workforce prep, they're going to help you along the way as you continue on with your job right now. So, Mr. Robinson, I just want to find out from you. Tell me a little bit about some of the modules that you would have taken the trainees through, and I want you to tell me how some of those modules assisted you in your job that you have now.
So the Butler Service training is extensive, but it's necessary. When you think of the word butler, especially within hospitality, you're thinking about the top. And because of this, the first thing we have to do, we have to transform their mindset. The butler mindset is extremely important. So they have to understand how to show up, how to speak, how to have great posture, pleasant attitude. Things like this we touch base on. We also assist them with working on their self-confidence, which is also extremely important. Now, everybody is normally eager to receive the information, but based on different aspects of where they're coming from, here at the National Training Agency, a lot of them lack that self-confidence, or they just don't know what or how to present themselves. So I would say that we spend some time on that, and once we actually touch base on that, the first class, moving forward every class, we have a shift lineup. And so Derek can tell you, during the shift lineup, they will have an opportunity to be before either myself or Securus, the other facilitator, and we will inspect them. We will look at their grooming, their hair, we will look at their nails, we will look at their shoes to make sure it's polished. We'll look at their pants to ensure that it's ironed. But we make sure that they understand the importance of how you show up.
So hold on, before you go on, tell me about this shift lineup. Because I know when it first started off, you might have had some challenges as well. So how did that make you feel when you went through that process?
Honestly, the shift lineup caught me about twice. That would have been with my nails. The first time I had ink under my nails I could not remove. And after that, I started to ensure that I always clean my nails before I go out.
And see, these are the kinds of things that I want our viewing audience to know about. Because we have to understand that there's a process
That's right.
in the training. And because you are in the industry and you've been in it for a while and you've also went through the training at NTA, you know what it is that guests are looking for.
That's right.
So I am certain that you had an awesome opportunity in this training, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So with that said, I want you to tell me, why should somebody sign up for NTA? Somebody who is watching us now, or even a parent might be watching now and they are considering sending their child to NTA. Why do you think NTA is a good choice for them?
That would be for the opportunities it provides. As you're leaving school, you have to compete with people with years of experience doing the same job that you want. They're gonna have 20 years of experience, 18 years. You're gonna be in a room full of grown adults whose work experience is basically as long as you've lived. And the NTA actually gives you the training that you would need to actually be able to put up some sort of fight, so to speak. I came to NTA last year, and now I'm already working at Bahamar. So it's not a very hard thing to do. It just depends on how much you want it.
So Derek, I remember earlier in the show you talked about you're not working directly in the Butler Service area at Bahamar. However, Butler Service training was what you did at NTA. So that right there speaks volumes, because it tells me that you are flexible. So I want you to tell me how your Butler Service training at NTA, how is that helping you right now in the current role at Bahamar?
Well, coming to work, you must always maintain a positive attitude. If you don't, your day will not go well. And if you're only looking for tips from the guests, they will see that you're not caring about them, you just want the money. And grooming is also a very, very important part. Management will take no effort to make sure that you live up to their grooming standards.
Of course.
If you don't, you will be write up or fired, potentially. Posture. Posture is very important. Since I'm a front desk agent, my posture, how I am at the desk, basically shows the guests before they even come to speak to me, oh, that's who I want to put my hands on. That's who I want to be with. That's who I want to check me in.
And I can actually add on to that. Like I said, Butler Service itself is a mindset. And during the training, we actually touch base on many aspects of hospitality in terms of understanding how important it is to provide exceptional service, exceptional experiences to your guests. Then we actually cover perhaps a large amount of the front office experience, because as a butler, you have to be able to meet, greet, and receive your guests upon arrival. You have to also assist them with the check-in process. Also, you take them and escort them to their room, and during this process, you would provide them with a property orientation, as well as when you arrive to the room, an in-room orientation, showing them features within their room, how to use it, and finishing it off with also selling yourself as a butler and providing the butler orientation, which would definitely include all the duties, all the skills that you have, and the tasks that you could perform for them to make their stay so much more comfortable, so much more relaxing, and so much more enjoyable. We also touch base on food and beverage. So at the end of the training, the butlers are able to set up the table for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, table d'hôte style, and serve their guests, going through the entire sequence of service. We touch base on wardrobe care. We touch base on room inspections, so they know the housekeeping, they understand the standards of housekeeping and how the guest room should be, and then they master it. So it makes them so well-rounded. Once they complete, they can find themselves within the front office as a front desk agent, as a concierge, as a butler. They can also find themselves within housekeeping as a supervisor, ensuring that everything is done, conducting inspections. They can even find themselves in food and beverage,
So it's
working in the restaurant.
well-rounded.
Extremely well-rounded.
Mm-hmm.
So it prepares them so well It prepares them so well for the world of hospitality that there's so much different opportunities that they can pick, choose, and refuse from.
Well, there you have it, folks. I believe that Butler Services, if you haven't considered Butler Services before, I'm hoping that this show will help you to actually think about it. You may be watching us today and you may be interested in Butler Services. Please visit us today at the National Training Agency on Munnings Road and Gladstone Road. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. You can also register online. Please pay attention to our social media platforms. That's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. All of the information on how you can register online is right there. But you will have to come in to be assessed. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Thank you, Derek, for joining us today. It has been a pleasure. We are going to be back after these messages with another trainee.
While tourism remains the leading industry in the Bahamas, trained and certified butlers are needed by many of our leading hotels. As a butler, you must be focused, disciplined, and committed to service with excellence. If you are interested in becoming a butler today, visit NTA on Gladstone Road and Munnings Drive, or give us a call at 461-6000.
Well, good evening again, and as I promised before the break, I told you that I would be back with another trainee who did our Butler Services training, and I have the pleasure to be joined by Mr. Osmond Poitier. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, and we're going to get into it, and I want to thank you again for joining this NTA Exclusive program today. Oswald,
Yeah.
it's been a while since
has.
I've seen you, and I know you did the training here at NTA, and now you go out in the big leagues now. You're at the hotel.
Yes, sir.
But I want to hear a little bit about your experience here at the National Training Agency. I know before you started the Butler Services training,
Yes, sir.
you went through 4 weeks of workforce prep
Yes,
here at the National Training Agency. Tell me about that experience. Is there any particular module that you can remember? Anything that stands out to you?
Yes, sir. A module that I remember very strongly and fondly, both is the module of attitude, because I've been told my whole life that I've been quite quiet and shy. And for me, I felt like it was relatively easy. The only thing I wanted to work on, though, was the fact that I was so quiet and shy. And it really helped me to come out of my shell and communicate with people better and really learn how to interact with people and how to read different attitudes and see how I can help where I can.
Awesome. And it's so good that you're actually willing to admit that, because a lot of times persons have attitudes or are challenged with their attitude and they don't recognize it. Other people have to recognize it for them. So that's really, really good. Anything else about that 4-week program that you can remember? I know they would have talked about work attire, coming to work on time. Anything else that stands out to you?
Yes, sir. Another thing that stands out to me, before joining the National Training Agency, I didn't really have any other background in work or anything at all. So the National Training Agency really helped those skills that I needed, and it helped me to build a good foundation of waking up to get ready to go to work. So I practice myself by waking up at least 2 hours, so that gives me enough time to get ready, and then I have an hour to drive to work and be to work on time. So it helped me greatly.
I'm so happy that you pointed that out, because that's one of the main reasons why we carry persons through the 4 weeks before they even get into the training because we want them to get into that whole mindset of coming to work. So each day when you come to the training, it's like you're showing up for the job, because a lot of persons, even people who are working and who have been working for years, they don't understand simple things like coming to work on time or why it's important. So I'm glad you talked about that. So let's get into the meat of the discussion. Let's talk about your training in the Butler Service area. You had two wonderful facilitators, Mr. Alvin Robinson and Mr. Wendell Curtis. Tell me about your experience, those 10 weeks of training. What are some of the things that you remember?
The 10-week training with Mr. Curtis and Mr. Robinson was truly blissful. And it taught me a lot of skills that I now use in the field as a butler. And it even taught me greater skills that I haven't quite used yet. But when I do come upon using them, for example, they taught us how to open champagne bottles. Most people at my work, they didn't know how to do that. So when I went there and I did it, they was amazed and surprised that myself, who was only 20, and this being my first job, I had such a skill. And I feel like they gave me all the necessary tools, and even more so tools that I didn't know I'd quite need, and I still haven't used yet, and kind of prepared me to a great degree. And I've been breezing through the current training at my current workplace as a butler.
Man, that's really good. That's really good. And listen, Mr. Curtis and Mr. Robinson, they are experts in the industry. So the fact that you can say that you went on a job where there were quote unquote seasoned people and you're a newcomer and you're able to do some things that they can't do, that says a lot. It tells me that you were trained by some of the best. So before we get into that, tell me, what area are you working in at Sandals?
Right, at Sandals, I'm currently a junior butler. And that's the area I'm currently working in. And next week, I'll be an official butler.
Okay. And what exactly are you responsible for as a junior butler?
As a junior butler, I'm shadowing a more senior butler. So as of right now, I'm taking notes and gathering information. I'm watching what he does. And he'll give me little assignments to do from time to time. For example, he'll have me escort guests or walk guests to dinner. Or he'll have me set up a table in preparation for guests coming to dinner. And I'll pour wine, I'll ice rooms. And it's been a great experience. And I think right now I have such an advantage on my side being only 20. So my brain's still fresh and new. So all the information I'm quickly absorbing and taking in.
That's awesome.
And I'm really using that whilst I'm still young to really take advantage of that and learn as much as I possibly can. So once I'm on my own, I know that I'll be able to make Mr. Curtis proud and Mr. Robinson proud, as well as the current butler that I'm shadowing underneath.
Awesome. And I love the fact that you said that you are learning and you're taking notes, because a lot of persons, they don't know what it is to start from somewhere. They figure that, as soon as they get into the job, they're supposed to be doing a particular thing, and they don't believe in starting, I don't want to say at the bottom,
yes, sir.
But you have to be able to learn and to glean from the persons that have already been there before you. And it's obvious that you are taking it in and you have a good attitude about it. So what I would like to find out from you now, there are some other young persons that are watching this program today, and also some parents who may have kids, other young men, other young women who can benefit from the NTA program. What would you say to them to encourage them to sign up for NTA?
What I'd say is take it in strides, and I'd highly recommend that you come to the NTA, because they teach you not only skills that you can use in your workforce, but as well as they teach you daily life skills that you can use in your everyday life. As simple as learning how to better communicate with people around you, to learning how to reflect upon yourself and really help change you as a person. And I feel the day that you stop learning or you give up on learning is the day you stop growing as a person.
Wow. That's some good stuff. That's good stuff. And Again, I can see that you're a person who appreciates the learning experience. So that's very, very good. And I'm happy that you feel that way about NTA. So today, I want to thank Mr. Poitier again for joining us on NTA Exclusive. It's definitely been a pleasure speaking with you and also speaking with Derek. It has been awesome, and I'm so happy to hear that you all are doing well. So for the rest of you that are watching this program today, if you are interested in NTA or you were curious about NTA, I hope there was something in this program that you heard that made you want to go and sign up. You can visit us right here on Gladstone Road and Munnings Drive, and our registration team will be more than willing to assist you with registering. Please just remember to bring your Bahamian passport or a voter's card, a passport photo, and like I said, we will be more than happy to assist you. You can also register online, pay attention to our Facebook page, as well as our YouTube channel, and we're also on TikTok. So we'll be more than happy to receive your application and to schedule a time for you to come in and be assessed. Thank you once again for joining us on NTA Exclusive. Thank you again, Mr. Poitier. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for taking this time out of your schedule to be with us today. Any closing words you would have for our audience?
Another thing about the NTA is, when I originally came here, as I said, I was very shy and quiet. But the way in which they welcomed me, it almost felt like as if I was a part of a family, and they made me feel at home. I still remember on my first day when I went to interview, I was sitting down in the lobby, not talking to anyone, and she's no longer here with us because she had left just before we graduated.
Okay.
She called me into her office and she said, "Why are you sitting down all by yourself? What's happening?" Mm-hmm. She said, and I answered and I said, "Nothing actually, I'm just excited." And she said, "Really? That's your excited face?" And so I began to smile and laugh, and she said, "See, that's perfect." And just as we had finished talking, Mr. Curtis and Mr. Robinson had called me into their interview, and she said, "Wow, look at that. See, I prepared you." And I went inside there and I had a big smile on my face, and it really made me feel like I was just happy to be a part of something so monumentous and important to society as a whole.
Awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't even know that happened, but that's some really, really good stuff. Well, again, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing with us today. And thank you, our viewing audience, for watching us today on NTA Exclusive. God bless you and have a wonderful evening.